An Ancestry DNA kit is putting my grandmother in prison. I'm thinking what you're thinking. Guys, I just finished watching this video and I want to put out a trigger warning because now that I know the story, this video and story does contain infant loss. So if that's a trigger for you or could be upsetting, I just want to put out the trigger warning, put it out there because I didn't know what this was about and I didn't know all the details and I didn't want it to be upsetting to you guys. So I want to put that out there before we start. Okay? Roll the tape.
Get ready with me while I tell you about how an Ancestry DNA kit is putting my grandma in prison.
She said that a little casually. That's a little too casual with a laugh. Like, your grandma's going to jail.
So in case you couldn't tell, I've never made a video like this before. I've already tried to record this a couple times and I keep stumbling over my words. This video might take a few minutes to get through because it is quite a long story and I don't want to split it up into separate parts like everybody does. So just bear with me. So I'm going to start with a little bit of the backstory. So I've never met my grandmother. I didn't even know her name until I was like 14 or 15 years old. And for reasons that are not my business to tell, when my mother is ready to tell that story, then that's on her. But I've never met my grandmother. So just keep that in mind. The other little part of the backstory that I feel like people should know is that this case was very popular in the town that I grew up in because it was so fucked up. It was the baby Garnett case. I know a lot of people are curious. I know a lot of people...
That sounds familiar, but I don't think I know that one. And I know pretty much every true crime case. We're going to find out in this video, by the way.
Have a lot of questions about what the happened, especially in my hometown. So I'm here to start talking about it. Obviously, I can't talk about everything. But I can tell you my story. Let's get into it. So, go back about 2 years ago. I watched my best friend get an Ancestry DNA kit for Christmas. And I thought it was dope. I was like, I need one of those. I want to see all the cool shit that she's seeing right now. So I bought one. It's literally you spit in a tube, you swab your mouth, you send it in, and they give you your ancestry results. It's actually really cool. And I had a blast doing it. Little did I know. So I sent it in, got my results back. Everything was cool and fine. So then about a year later, I'm at work and I get a phone call and it's a fucking detective from the Michigan State Police out of St. Ignace. And I was like, oh, excuse me. I was like, what the did I do? So I start freaking out. I was like, okay, I'm either about to really go to jail or somebody is dead. So I start freaking out. And he was like, I just want to let you know that I reopened a cold case from like 25 years ago. And he was like, and your DNA is a direct match to the victim of this case.
Bruh, if I got that phone call, well, I'm dramatic, so my reaction would be insane.
And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, what case? And he was like, you've heard of the baby Garnett case, right? And I was like, I was like, you're joking, right? And he was like, no. He was like, I know that it's shocking. He was like, and I know that it's, you know, a weekday at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And I kind of just sprung this on you. He was like, but we've been investigating and your DNA matches. And I was like, okay. So I start talking to this dude and he like proceeds to tell me that he wants to connect me with this lady from Chicago. He said that she like runs this worldwide database and he wants me to talk to her so she can upload my DNA into this worldwide database to like broaden the search, I guess. So I okayed it and he told me that he would give her my number and she'd call me after I got off work. So I get home from work and I'm telling my mom about this call. I was like, listen, like this is f***ed up, like listen to this. And she was like, I wouldn't like listen to that. She was like, Papa just got a phone call saying that Uncle Marcus is dead and that they needed like his social security number or something like that to confirm that it was like he was his father. And he was not dead. Like, it was a fucking scam, but freaked my grandpa out. And so my mom was like, don't, like, it could be a scam, you know? So this lady calls me, and I'm on the phone with her, and she's like, I just need, like, your permission. And I was like, you have my permission, girl. I was like, whatever you need me to do, like, I'll do it. And she was like, okay, I need your password. And I was like, who the f*** gonna ask me for my password that's not a scammer, you know? And so I hung up the fucking phone.
Because why would that be me? Why would that be me? The second someone's like, I need your password or any type of like, goodbye.
Okay, see ya.
Yeah, of course you're gonna think it's a scammer.
So like a week later, I get another phone call from my mom. And she was like, hey, she was like, you need to come home right now. And I was like, I'm at work. I can't just leave. And she was like, yeah, you can. She was like, it's an emergency. Like, you need to come home right now. So I was like, all right, whatever. So thank God my manager was understanding. She ended up letting me leave. And it was just crazy. I ended up getting home and one of my cousins were there. And she was like, you know that phone call you got? And I was like, how the f do you know about that? And she was like, because there was state police at my door this morning. And I was like, okay. She was like, it's not a scam. Like, I've been in contact with them all morning. Like, you really do need to call that lady back because they need your DNA. Okay. So I called her back. We uploaded my DNA into this worldwide database, and it comes back as a distant relative. So they were like, are we able to speak with your mom? And I was like, actually, she's sitting right here. So they spoke with my mother. They asked for her permission to take her DNA. So they ended up meeting up with her the next day, taking her DNA, and ended up obviously running it through the same database that they ran mine through, and ended up finding out that it's not a distant relative to my mom, but a direct relative. And the only other people that it could have been was my mom's mother. They kind of started doing their own investigating and figured out that that's who it was. So we were mind blown. Mind you, I've never met this woman before. She is literally the person that they've been looking for 25 years.
Oh?
And it's all because of a Ancestry DNA kit. So yeah, everything kind of unfolded from there. I'm not really allowed to talk about anything that has happened outside of that right now. But obviously it's going to come out. It has already been in the news, and I know you guys have seen it because I've seen your fucking comments. So yeah, to all the nosy bitches that wanted to know, here's the tea.
We need to get this on Netflix. This entire thing needs to be a Netflix documentary. Have you guys ever used the Ancestry DNA kit? I've seen them all over the place. I've never done it. Well, let me know. We're moving on because she's done some other videos that answer some questions, and we're gonna learn about what this frickin' case is because I don't know the story. So someone commented, wait, so did your mom know her sibling was the baby Garnett case?
Hi guys. I just wanted to come on here and continue to say thank you. The amount of love and followers and support and just amazing things that people have said to me and my mother are amazing, and it does not go unnoticed. We appreciate it so much. With that being said, I would like to tell you guys that there is so much to our story that we want to tell you, but we want to do it the right way. We have decided to take a documentary approach to this, and we have decided to meet with producers. We are hoping that one day this will be a documentary that people can watch. So we're working on that for people. We do want our story to be told. We want people to follow along as you are, and we are so grateful for that. I also just wanted to say that I posted that video for the people in my hometown. We never expected it to get this big. So just bear with us, give us some time. Thank you.
Well, I wanted the answer, but I will take that information gladly, and I really hope I see it.
I saw the video. Enough of you guys tagged me, so let's talk about it. Garnett Lake Campground. It's in Michigan. It's a very small area that offers campsites. People go there to camp and do other outdoor activities.
I need to hydrate, and so do you, and so do you. Take a sip of water. It's lemon water in my cup. Cheers. Hope you're having a good day. I just brushed my teeth, so that lemon, that tastes horrid. Let's learn about this Garnett case.
Garnett in itself is very small. It had an unofficial population of about 60 people. The campsite had been closed for 2 years, and in the summer of 1997, they decided they wanted to reopen it. June 26th of 1997, while getting ready to reopen the place, the person responsible for cleaning out the outhouses made a horrific discovery. An outhouse is basically a single little outdoor building that contains a toilet, kind of just like a porta potty. In that campsite, the outhouses were set away from the lake behind a small hill next to an open field. When cleaning them out, they were using a machine to suction the waste out, and when the suction stopped, they thought that it was clogged. But after taking a closer look, they realized that what was clogging the suction machine was the body of an infant.
No.
911 was immediately called. The body was taken. The autopsy revealed that the infant was between 38 to 40 weeks old, full term, and pretty much a newborn. She was a girl. The umbilical cord was not found. The autopsy did not reveal if she was born alive or stillborn. They also had no idea what the cause of death was if she was born alive. However, they were treating this as a homicide. With the only information they had then, they estimated that she was left there as early as June 1st of 1997, and it makes me sick to my stomach to think that there is a good chance that she could have never been found if they had not decided to reopen that camp and decided to clean and pump out those tanks. The small community in the area is who gave her the name Baby Garnett. As time went on, any leads they had led to nothing, and the case was looking like there would be no answers. With the little information that they did have, detectives assumed that the mother they were looking for was someone with unexplained weight gain over the past few months, and especially unexplained weight loss during the past month. Maybe someone who changed their clothing attire to wearing only baggy clothing since April.
Having to try to solve this case and find someone simply based off of like baggy clothes and weight gain or loss, that would be near to impossible.
They assumed that the pregnancy began in September 1996. Because of how remote the area was, investigators had very high beliefs that the mother was a local resident, or at the very least knew someone local, but local residents did not think that it was someone local because the community was so close, everyone there knew everyone, and everyone was so kind and friendly. A local waitress said, quote, "It's not something you really think of as happening in Garnett, like that girl on TV at the prom and her baby. Something like that would happen in a big city downstate somewhere, not in a small town upper Michigan." Even though absolutely no one knew anything about the baby, she was buried. The community gave her a grave with the name Baby Girl Garnett because they said they wanted to give her at least a shred of identity that she never got to have. She was buried less than a mile down the road from the campground. Law enforcement stated, quote, "We want to put the baby to rest, give her some sort of ceremony, and maybe someone will show up at the ceremony. Someone will either feel bad and come to us or know something about what happened," but no one ever did. In 2017, a new county sheriff named Ed Wilk wanted to review the case again, but they still didn't really have much to go off. However, by 2022, there was an entirely new technology system, new possibilities, new resources. An officer from that county had read an article about a case from a different state, a case that was previously a cold case, but they were able to solve it using this new technology, specifically using forensic genealogy. Forensic genealogy is described as a law enforcement technique that uses DNA analysis and genealogical research to identify suspects or victims in criminal cases. Seeing that case being solved made them want to solve the case of Baby Garnett, or at least try to. In enters Colleen Fitzpatrick. She's an American forensic scientist, and her company, Identifiers International, is an investigative genetic genealogy that helps identify victims and perpetrators of violent crimes. They basically use DNA to find a family tree and try to narrow it down as much as they can to help them solve cold cases. Colleen and her team speak to law enforcement. They try to gather as much information as they can. They connect with anyone who may be of help in the case. They get their DNA, send it to a lab, get the results. They upload the results to a system called GEDmatch to see the family tree DNA. That process is what the girl is talking about in her video. She helped solve this case because her giving her DNA led law enforcement to be able to identify Baby Garnett's mother, 60-year-old Nancy Ann Gerwatowski. She was living in Wyoming. She was immediately arrested and brought back to Michigan. Nancy was charged with open murder, involuntary manslaughter, and concealing the death of an individual. Investigators believe that she gave birth alone in her house where Baby Garnett passed away due to asphyxiation. They believe that the death could have been prevented by medical help if Nancy just tried to get medical help. But instead, they believe that she allegedly hid the body in an outhouse at the campground more than 20 miles away from her house. According to court records, a hearing is scheduled to happen on December 12th of this year, 2024. We don't know what's going to happen yet. I read that Nancy is currently out on bond, but she does have a GPS tracker. They were able to find the father as well, but from what I read, it sounds like he did not know anything about the pregnancy, and he is also being considered a victim in this case. This is a quote from law enforcement after their findings. Quote, "Thanks to the incredible efforts of investigators across 3 decades decades, we are finally able to pursue justice for baby Garnett more than 25 years after her tragic death. In 1997, genetics testing was nowhere near as sophisticated as it is today, and I'm grateful for the work of detectives and responders on scene to preserve vital evidence in this matter. Prosecutors in my office are able to bring about this long-delayed criminal trial because of 27 years of sound police work, scientific advancement, and diligent state and local detectives who never gave up on justice for this infant victim. I just got goosebumps. Pretty crazy. I know this is not my best quality video, but I wanted to get it up for you guys tonight. Very, very sad, but it is a happy thing that she is now going to be able to get some justice.
No need for a documentary because this girl just summed up an entire documentary in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I'm now just thinking back to the first girl's video. That's her grandmother, and her mom had a sibling. That must be so overwhelming. Imagine that information just being given to you on a random Wednesday morning. This is so sad. Apparently, the girl who told the story originally has responded to this video and the fact that the girl covered this story. So we're gonna watch that. So someone commented, I heard a little about your story from a creator that has no business to share your story unless you gave her permission. But girl, this is wild. Thank you for sharing, and just wow.
Hi guys. So I know a lot of people have a lot of questions, and I'm going to try and answer as many as I can without obviously giving out information that I'm not allowed to give out yet. I just used this comment because this is the comment that pops up when I open my comment section, so I hope that people can see this. I also kind of wanted to address this comment a little bit because I have seen a lot of the videos that people have posted about our story, and I just wanted to say that I appreciate people sticking up for us and tagging us in the videos and stuff, but it's fine if people want to talk about our story. That is what we wanted to post it for. We wanted to get the word out. We want to tell our story, and we want people to follow along.
Yeah,
with that being
I'm
said,
invested.
I'm going to try and answer some of the questions that I have seen in the comments. So the first question that I see a lot is people are asking how old I am. I'm assuming to match up the two ages. I'm 23, so if you want to do the math on that, you can go ahead. I've also seen a lot of people arguing in the comments about whether or not the police can actually use Ancestry DNA for stuff like this. They absolutely can, and they did. The other most frequently asked question that I had was why I didn't have a relationship with my grandmother, and like I said in my other video, that is a story that is not mine to tell. So whenever my mom is ready to tell that story, that is her decision. Let's just say that it was for good reason, and I just didn't have a relationship with her. I didn't know who she was, which also leads me to the next question that I saw a lot in the comments was, so how did you guys not know? Because I've never met this woman. How would I?
Well, also, you think she's just walking around sharing this information? They weren't able to find her in 25 years. Do you think she's just gonna go walking around flaunting what she did?
She lived in Wyoming. I didn't even know who she was. There was no way that I could have known. And this happened before I was born, in case anybody's curious. I wasn't here for this. My mom didn't know either. But like I said, that's my mother's story to tell, and I'm not going to go into much more detail than that. The last thing that I wanted to say is thank you to all of the people that have watched and reposted that video, that have messaged me, commented on the video, and said wonderful things to me and my family. It is very much appreciated. I can't even explain how traumatizing the situation has been, but the people that actually have love in their hearts are showing it, and I really do appreciate that. I'm saying that for me and my mother, so thank you. And if and when there are any updates on this case, I will let you know. You will be the first people to know. I will post updates as long as I'm able to talk about them. So thank you for listening. Please keep listening, and please keep telling our story.
Girl, I am so here for your story and invested in it. That is very traumatizing and very sad and also very confusing. And I still think a documentary should be done about this case. Every part of it, the ancestry part, her story, her mom's story if she's, you know, wanting to share that, because there's so many details we don't know even after that girl's 5-minute video. Wow. I was not expecting that today. Stay classy out there, stay sassy, and I'll see you tomorrow.